Delivering contraceptive supplies to guests at the hotel, I was suddenly met with a barrage of comments as I searched for the room number. Oh my goodness, the female lead and the male lead are about to meet. Just this one-night stand is exhilarating. The male protagonist has been drugged by the rival, mistaking the female protagonist for a friend sent to him. They engage in passion before love. At any moment, the male lead will open the door and collide with the female lead, pulling her into the room, compelling her into a fervent encounter. The female lead is truly enjoying herself. The CEO is handsome and affluent, marking her first experience of such intimacy. Heavens! Regardless of its authenticity, I dash down the stairs from the 6th floor in a flurry. This blessing, whoever desires it may claim it. 1. The young lady fled as if she had encountered a ghost. Alas, who shall my male protagonist vent his frustrations upon? His friend's companion has arrived, yet upon merely casting a glance at her, he promptly dismissed her. Only the chosen heroine can ignite his passions. I squatted by the roadside, unscrewed my cup to take a sip of water, and connected the call from a disgruntled customer whose voice was brimming with fury. Why aren't you here yet? I've waited so long that the flowers have wilted. I'm terribly sorry. I left it at the stairwell. Are you suggesting I put on my clothes and go retrieve it? Do you want me to file a complaint? Brother, I'll refund you fully. Please don't leave a bad review. My father has passed away, my mother is still in the hospital, and my younger sister is in middle school. Goodness. Your situation is dire. Very well. Refund me first, and I shall give you a favorable review. Thank you, brother. 10 minutes later, I received a scathing 500-word review. The platform terminated my employment. After paying the medical bills and transferring my sister's living expenses to her teacher, my savings stood at 2023. Ding. Your phone bill is overdue by 303 yuan. Please recharge promptly to avoid disruption of service. As I rode my little electric scooter, my emotions were tumultuous while reading the comments. The young lady is so unfortunate. Had she not fled, the male protagonist would have offered her 5 million by the next morning. Of course, the proud heroine would refuse it and even consider reporting him. The male protagonist could only resort to seducing her. She remains unaware that he is the most powerful man in the entire northern city. Not encountering the male protagonist might be a blessing. Based on the previous comments, he seems rather despicable, treating the heroine as a mere tool. That is only because they have yet to fall in love. Men typically experience physical attraction first, and later, they gradually develop emotional affection for the heroine. I abruptly slammed on the brakes, nearly colliding with a woman in her 30s, who fell gracefully to the ground. I sensed she might attempt to extort me. So I revealed my empty balance, indicating I had nothing to compensate her. Her eyes brightened, and she invited me to work at a club, engaging in conversation with clients, filling the space with a guaranteed minimum of 3,000 in the first month, plus commission on sales. I gritted my teeth and agreed. By day, I endured my meager internship salary. By night, I navigated the dazzling nightlife. I often found myself subjected to inappropriate advances and encountered some truly depraved individuals. My colleague, Shaoli, emerged from a private room in tears, a red mark on her fair arm where someone had pressed a cigarette. This was outrageous. The comments began to flood in again. Iconic scene alert. The heroine is in for a rough time. Wait for the later scenes of the male protagonist pursuing her. The male protagonist is undeniably a scoundrel in the early stages. He harbors interest in the heroine, yet looks down upon her, playing with her emotions like a child who bullies the girl he likes. He coerces her into drinking, leading to her consuming millions in alcohol until her stomach perforates. In a subsequent rewatch, the heroine, inebriated and disoriented, clings to the male protagonist's pant leg, and he carries her into the car, only to find her calling out the name of her crush. The male protagonist, being possessive, remains silent, dismantling the heroine's defenses. Isn't this coercion? The male protagonist is a legal professional. He should step back. The heroine also finds some satisfaction, don't you think? The comments erupted in chaos. As I entered with a drink, I halted, spotting Charlie. I remarked, "Brother, this place is filled with affluent individuals. Surely the tips must be generous." The young master of the Liu family is here as well. I've heard he has a peculiar temperament. Is there anything I should be wary of? He, who typically looks down on us, immediately seized the wine tray upon noticing the arrival of a significant client. What is going on with the heroine? The tension between the leads is palpable. Missing even a day feels like a loss. An NPC has intervened. My sales performance waned, and as the crowd dwindled, the task of cleaning fell to me. Past midnight, a group of men emerged from a private room, surrounding one figure. The dim lighting obscured their faces, but the silhouette exuded an air of distinction. He paused and glanced in my direction. I lowered my head, tidying up the bottles, my heart racing. The man wore a limited edition Patek Philippe watch, a piece that would take me several lifetimes to afford. 2. My family was once comfortably affluent, but in recent years it felt as if we had been cursed. My father was betrayed by a partner, leading to the company's bankruptcy and his subsequent car accident. My mother's health deteriorated after a fall, and my bewildered younger sister, nearly in her teens, looked on helplessly. In my early 20s, I seamlessly took over the responsibilities of the household. Fortunately, I maintained an optimistic outlook, believing that life would eventually improve. Upon returning to the dormitory, my roommate had prepared a nourishing porridge, intentionally saving me a bowl. The warm, fragrant porridge slid into my stomach, revitalizing my spirits. As graduation approached, everyone was preoccupied, burning the midnight oil to revise their theses. Xiao Nuan, working part-time in such a chaotic place, please prioritize your safety. Call us if anything happens. How is Auntie's health now? I smiled. She's doing quite well. She'll be able to come home in a few days. Don't worry. I'll take good care of myself. After this month, I plan to resign. Zhao Kechuan sent me a message and, upon opening it, I discovered hundreds of annotations on my thesis document. My vision blurred momentarily, and I felt a wave of gratitude. Thank you, senior. He quickly replied, are you free? Let us grab a meal tomorrow. Zhao Kechuan was a year ahead of me. We met during a math competition in our sophomore year. His intelligence and charm made interactions feel like a gentle spring breeze. I harbored feelings for him, yet I was acutely aware of my own inadequacy in comparison. He seemed to regard me as a younger sister. The following day, upon exiting the company, I found Zhao Kechuan waiting for me downstairs. Having worked for a year, he had taken out a loan to purchase a car. After dining together, he suggested taking me for a drive. Remembering my part-time job, I fibbed. My boss wants me back at the office for extra work. He joined in cursing the unscrupulous employer and affectionately ruffled my hair, causing my cheeks to flush. Reflecting on my current predicament evoked a bittersweet smile. Amidst the clinking of glasses, while clearing my throat in the restroom, a call from the doctor arrived. I rushed to the hospital, where I learned my mother had been temporarily stabilized. Peering through the glass at her unconscious face, tears flowed unbidden. The doctor informed me that her condition had worsened, necessitating immediate surgery, and I needed to raise 200,000 yuan for the operation within 2 days. I approached the club owner, Hongjia, for a loan. She tossed me a few business cards, stating, these gentlemen are all wealthy. They mentioned to me they fancy your type. Spend some time with them, and the money will come easily. If I borrow from you, it's not like I can just keep cleaning indefinitely, right? How long will it take to repay? I never engage in losing ventures. Speechless, I retreated to a corner to wipe away my tears. My enthusiastic colleague, Xiao Mei, suggested, come with me tonight. I have connections. There's a gathering in the circle today, featuring some games. For instance, crawling like a dog. Whoever comes in first receives a reward. Last time, someone entertained the elite crowd and earned a small fortune. Intrigued, I followed Xiao Mei, catching sight of fireworks from a distance. The sprawling 500-square-meter villa echoed with laughter and merriment. We were given costumes and masks, and upon entering the restroom to change, I noticed the mask adorned with white feathers, and the outfit, scant and of poor quality, bore a fluffy tail. The comments appeared, the heroine's pride will soon be shattered. She's formally entering a casual relationship. Heroine, please refrain from causing any more trouble. Xiao Mei urged. Xiao Nuan, you have long legs and can crawl quickly. Since I introduced you, you owe me 20% if you win. Be ruthless. Everyone here is game for anything. Grabbing, biting, tearing clothes is all in a day's work. I was left speechless. We were merely monkeys in a circus. After changing clothes and fixing our hair, I learned through the comments that I had secured first place. Upon removing my mask, someone suggested a more degrading game due to my cold demeanor. The male protagonist, Lu Ming, remained silent, his lips curled into a mocking smile as he observed me. As a result, I found myself defeated, the price being a man publicly seeking my favor. Lu Ming squatted down in a condescending manner and uttered, beg me. He then removed his jacket and draped it over my shoulders, brazenly lifting me up and carrying me away. This spectacle did not escape the notice of his fiancée, who subsequently sought revenge on me repeatedly. Fiancé? My gaze shifted to the glamorous woman, adorned in fragrant attire, inspecting her makeup in the restroom mirror. And I couldn't help but exclaim, sister, you are truly beautiful. She appraised me from head to toe, her smile dripping with arrogance, before sighing. What use is beauty if he doesn't even glance my way? Seeing the supporting character irked me. She was not only malicious but also intelligent. You see, she ultimately caused the female lead to suffer a miscarriage, falsely accusing her of not wanting the male lead's child. The male lead, already riddled with insecurities in their relationship, believed her, leading to a tumultuous spiral of torment.
What a predicament.
The kind-hearted female lead still praised her beauty. How pitiful. Are you referring to young Master Lu? I believe a man who possesses everything may be drawn to a woman who ignites his desire to conquer. Sister, you shouldn't be too forward. He is exceptional. And you are equally remarkable. If I am not mistaken, you are the daughter of the Yi family, recently returned from studying finance abroad, holding a Master-S degree, and serving as the CEO of a company branch. She chuckled, applying her lipstick, casting a sidelong glance at me. Little girl, you seem to know quite a bit. What brings you here, looking so innocent? My mother is ill and in need of money. Yi Ran scoffed. Those who come here for amusement are either financially struggling or looking to ensnare a wealthy man. Do you think flattery will lead to my charity? Please, do not offer assistance. You'll regret it later. The female lead is quite rational, having seen through the class disparity with the male lead early on. I hurriedly shook my head. No, it was merely a compliment. Feeling awkward, I attempted to leave when she called out to me. Turning back, I realized a necklace had fallen from me, and I bent down to retrieve it. She glanced at it disdainfully. It's dirty. Just throw it away. She walked off in her high heels. My eyes sparkled as I scanned the shopping app, discovering it was a Graf diamond necklace worth 270,000.
Wow.
I was thrilled, practically dancing in the restroom as I rode a shared bicycle home. The drama had already progressed 3 episodes, yet the male and female leads had yet to meet. The male lead sat in solitude on a high platform, wondering when his beloved would appear. Watching the female lead bounce around brought me joy. I realized there is a significant difference between being a man's dog and a woman's. Rest assured, only when the female lead encounters the male lead will her fortunes change. Otherwise, she will continue to suffer.
Goodness.
The comment section was filled with adoration for the male lead, as if wealth and power were everything. Handsome as he may be, at his core, he is still a terrible person. What happiness does the female lead find with him? Before falling in love, she was merely a tool for his release. After, she faced bullying from his family, a miscarriage, misunderstandings, and emotional neglect, all while he flaunted affection towards the supporting character to torment her further. After 3 years, producing 2 children, one would think her life had improved, yet tragedy struck when the male lead's father had an accident, resulting in amnesia. I couldn't help but laugh. Upstairs, the bitterness was palpable. Wealth and power were indeed seen as admirable traits. Yes, the male lead is handsome and skilled, while the female lead is poor and ordinary. Being used is considered a gain, isn't it? The male lead suffers from childhood trauma, rendering him inept at managing intimate relationships. You only see the female lead sacrifices. In truth, the male lead would risk his life for her, loving her to the core. Ultimately, she genuinely attained happiness. But did she truly find happiness? I do not know, but that is not the life I desire, spending every moment revolving around a man. I stayed by my mother's side during her surgery. She grasped my hand, saying, "Shaun Wan, I have burdened you." I replied, somewhat angrily, "Mom, please do not say such things. Having you by my side is my greatest joy." My mother treated me exceptionally well, raising me like a princess. I lived a carefree 20 years. After her recovery, I brought her home, and my sister returned as well. The 3 of us enjoyed a delightful meal together. On my last day working at the club, as I exited, my mother stood at the door, her expression grim. I quickly presented my resignation letter, employing a mix of charm and persistence. She informed me that she had secured a position as a nanny for a wealthy family. They have dozens of servants. And the head of the household remarked that my cooking reminded him of his deceased mother. He seldom returns, but when he does, he hopes for a warm meal. It sounded like a good job. Life was returning to normal. The only downside was being let go during my probation period. Everyone performed similarly, yet others had connections or backgrounds. Senior Zhao offered to refer me to his company, where the salary was significantly higher and the benefits were generous. I was overjoyed to receive an interview opportunity. I took my best friend shopping for an outfit, waking up early to squeeze onto the subway. The company building towered into the clouds. As the interview time approached, 2 employees crowded into the elevator, and I glanced at the exclusive elevator for the president. Surely, it must malfunction. I imagined being trapped inside for an entire day and night, my lips swollen from his kisses. I knew that the male lead had been locked in a small dark room by his stepmother during childhood, suffering from claustrophobia and anxiety. He would likely develop feelings for the female lead due to this, a classic case of the suspension bridge effect. It turns out this was Lu Ming's company. The comments section painted a vivid picture of my life after starting work, being challenged by my superior, Lu Ming coming to my defense, using his privileges to transfer me to his office. Under the guise of work, he would have me accompany him late into the night, sharing meals, while I engaged in casual conversations with other male colleagues, only to find him nitpicking at my work documents. Naturally, the office was rife with intimate moments. From resisting to gradually succumbing to enjoyment, what initially seemed unreasonable transformed into a delightful romance because of my affection for him. Ding, the elevator doors opened. A man stepped in behind me, his perfume chilling. The sound of his polished shoes striking the floor carried an air of authority. I shifted my feet, brushing past him. Each time I drew near him, an instinctive fear gripped me. Was he my destined companion, or my nemesis? I stood aside, watching the elevator ascend, only for it to freeze on the 12th floor, the maintenance team rushing to attend to it. Yi Ran arrived as well. Through the surveillance footage, I observed Lu Ming curled up, resembling a drenched stray dog. Suddenly, the power went out, plunging the area into darkness. What is the female lead doing, merely spectating? Lu Ming appeared so pitiable, I longed to comfort him. To hell with the female lead. Let me take her place. Yi Ran, separated by the elevator, conversed with a psychologist while soothing him with gentle words. When Lu Ming finally emerged, he was supported by someone, his steps faltering, pallid, ignoring everyone as he closed the office door behind him. Disappointment flickered in Yi Ran's eyes as she murmured, "As long as he is all right." The supporting character genuinely loved the male lead, obsessed to the point of neglecting her own company, leading to its bankruptcy. TSK, I analyzed her company's trajectory. Had she persevered for 2 more years, she might have entered the e-commerce era and established a global shopping platform, becoming a founder herself. The wretch deserved her misfortune, losing both wealth and talent, sent away by the male lead to northern Myanmar. I felt that the supporting character was decent in the beginning. The male lead was the true source of her downfall, bewitching her so thoroughly. Senior Zhou inquired about my interview,
Elite.
claiming the competition was too fierce and I had been eliminated. I brought a cup of hot water to you, Rand. Sister, it's good to see you again. Do you truly like him that much? You were such a great help to me before. I can return the favor. She scoffed. You? He must be hungry now and not wishing to be disturbed. Just buy him his favorite food and leave it at his door. Knock a couple of times and walk away. Not long afterward, Yi Ran met me at the cafe outside the company. Lu Ming had sent her a thank you message and invited her to dinner over the weekend. You are truly amazing.
Indeed.
It is because I immerse myself in the notion that I would act this way, for Lu Ming harbors feelings for me, and thus, this conduct would surely captivate his heart. Moreover, the barrage of comments has vividly conveyed to me all there is to know about Lu Ming, his personality, preferences, timing, and duration. I am acutely aware of everything. You mentioned you have plans this weekend. From this moment forth, refrain from initiating contact with him. There is an investment conference this month, wherein you will engage in a price negotiation with him, likely to result in a loss for you. Maintain an air of nonchalance throughout, and he will engage you in conversation. Subsequently, politely decline his invitations once more. Men possess a robust sense of pride and will become curious about you. He will discover that you have been volunteering at a nursing home, providing companionship to the elderly, for he is fond of kind-hearted and tenacious girls. Yi Ren nodded vigorously. I presented my resume to her, saying, "Sister, I believe your company would be an ideal place for my professional development. Please consider me." She readily replied, "Why not become my assistant?" Yes, a job is secured. That evening, my mother called, inviting me to indulge in some hairy crabs. A friend of the master sent them. He is not at home, so I prepared them myself. I suggested inviting you all over, and he consented. Shaonan, hurry here and bring your sister along. Experiencing the lavish lifestyle of the elite, we were treated to a stunning ocean view, feasting to our heart's content before tidying up and retreating to the lounge for some rest. In the middle of the night, I ventured to the restroom. A faint glow emanated from the second-floor bedroom. He had returned. My mother had given prior notice, so there should be no cause for concern. As I sat on the toilet, lost in thought, I pondered that there must have been a barrage of comments then. But I was too fatigued to open my eyes and see. Upon exiting, the power went out, and I stumbled over something, letting out a soft gasp. I twisted my ankle, the pain causing me to draw in a sharp breath. A figure descended from the upstairs. Approaching me without need for conjecture, it was Lu Ming. He bent down and lifted me, placing me gently on the sofa. My body trembled, an involuntary response. A cold chuckle escaped his lips. "Are you afraid of me?" "Thank you," I replied in a barely audible voice. His cool hand caressed my face. Why does my heart race so, despite having never met you before? I turn my face away. Please have some decorum. Huh. Look at how you're shaking. Am I truly that frightening? He buried his face in the crook of my neck. His breath heavy. You smell so delightful. I find myself overwhelmed by an inexplicable desire. The male protagonist, devoid of moral scruples, seeks what he desires without hesitation. He pried open my lips, his warm, wet tongue exploring my mouth, his heated breath fanning my cheeks as our saliva mingled. Terror gripped me, nearly suffocating me. I felt utterly powerless to escape. If I were to scream for help, he would ensure our family could not survive in the city, forcefully taking what he wanted. It was a spectacle to behold. The female protagonist wept, evoking a deep sense of empathy. How beautiful. Would they truly engage in such actions here? What would happen to the female protagonist's mother and sister? Had all my efforts been in vain? My hands clawed at him, my teeth biting down. The metallic taste of blood filling the air as he emitted a soft moan. "Are you giving me a massage?" His icy hand slipped beneath my clothing. Like a serpent revealing its fangs, it struck. My mind blinked, as if I were staring into the abyss. Suddenly, the door swung open. "Sister, where are you?" "I can't find the restroom. I'm about to wet my pants." My sister's innocent voice rang out. "I can't hold it any longer. I'm going to wet myself." Her nearsightedness had her fumbling her way toward me. Lu Ming stiffened, breathing heavily in my ear. What a buzzkill. He released me, dialing a number as he ascended the stairs. "The circuit is broken. Have someone come fix it." My voice was hoarse. "Xiaozheng, turn right, it's the third door." I've twisted my ankle, so I'm lying here for a bit, covering my face, biting my lip. My shoulders trembled. That forceful kiss had been so terrifying. Had I not fled that night, what would I have endured? This time, it was my sister's timely appearance that allowed me to escape. The world revolved around the male lead. Undoubtedly, there would be many such encounters in the future. Could I evade each one? It was a chilling thought. The female protagonist's mother had remained oblivious throughout. How foolish. Perhaps she had taken a liking to this son-in-law, wishing to bring the two together. If I were the female protagonist's mother, I would have remained indoors and in my slumber secured a wealthy and handsome husband. Alas, why had the female protagonist ventured out in the dead of night? Outside, the night was heavy with dew. I purchased a bottle of water to rinse my mouth. My foot swollen like a bun. Sitting on the ground, I scrolled through my contacts. "Senior brother, could you come pick me up?" Half an hour later, Zhao Kechuan emerged from his vehicle, a tuft of hair standing on end. "What happened?" "It's cold outside. Let's talk in the car." He noticed my injured foot and rushed to a convenience store to procure an ice pack for cold compress. The second male lead has consistently guarded the female protagonist. When she was kidnapped, he also intervened, sacrificing himself to shield the male lead. He wished to spare the female protagonist from sorrow, telling her that he had gone abroad to live. He understood that the female protagonist loved the male lead more and willingly took the bullet for him. "Woo. The male lead belongs to you, but the second male lead is mine." What were they discussing in the car? The female protagonist leaned closer to the second male lead, causing his face to blush. "Woman, don't catch a fever, otherwise I shall break your legs on behalf of the male lead." Zhao Kechuan looked up at the sky, smiling as he nodded. "Wen Wan, I believe whatever you say." His gaze fell upon the corner of my split lip, an indescribable emotion reflected in his eyes. The car fell silent as he rested my leg on his lap, gently massaging it. My mother called, and Zhao Kechuan answered. "Wen Wan's leg is injured. I'm taking her to the hospital." "Yes, Auntie, I am her friend." A silence ensued on the other end, followed by laughter. "This child never informs me." I interjected, "Mom, he is the senior brother I often mention." Zhao Kechuan brought me to the hospital, where we remained until dawn. After applying medication, I leaned on a crutch as he escorted me to the company entrance. Unsure how to express my gratitude, I vowed to ensure his safety. "Remember our promise." We exchanged smiles, flames of determination igniting in our eyes. Yi Ran and Lu Ming's relationship progressed splendidly. They had become good friends. At the very least, he no longer harbors any dislike for me. After marriage, feelings will naturally develop over time, Yi Ran remarked while posing for photos in the office. "We are hosting an engagement banquet. You must attend." After months of camaraderie, she regarded me as a close friend. As her assistant, I learned a great deal. She busied herself selecting a wedding gown while I sought her attention for work documents. She replied, "Darling, just handle it, I'm swamped." I could only smile in resignation. The lighting, color coordination, and stage design were all meticulously scrutinized. She would tolerate no imperfections. Acting like a child, she exclaimed, "If I'm this nervous for the engagement, how will I manage when it comes to the wedding?" I sat at my workstation, feeling both elated and guilty. If she and Lu Ming were to reach the point of marriage, would my curse finally be lifted? Though I had used her, she had also attained her desires. The engagement banquet was a grand affair, attended by socialites and aristocrats. I feigned overtime at the company. Yi Ren called urgently. "This is a matter of utmost urgency." I left my green jade earrings in the office. "Hurry, bring them to me. I must dazzle on stage." I located the earrings, stuffed them into my pocket, and the driver sped towards the venue. Yi Ran awaited me at the entrance, embracing me and planting a kiss on my cheek. "Now, this is perfect." Then, we were kidnapped. A ransom of astronomical proportions was demanded. The kidnappers had no knowledge of which among us was Lu Xiao's fiancé, so they took us all. Indeed, one should not bring intellect into such matters. The female protagonist's entire attire could not amount to $100. While the supporting female character was adorned in luxury, anyone could distinguish between them. As the situation grew increasingly chaotic, I grasped Yi Ran's hand, reassuring her, "Sister, do not fear. I will protect you." She lay in my arms, weeping. The engagement party I painstakingly prepared hasn't even begun, and I'm furious. They believe that a precious daughter cannot be touched, while I, a mere shrimp, am fair game. 5 men vied for precedence, right before my eyes. Yi Ran stood in front of me, declaring fiercely, "Dare to touch my sister, and I will die before you." A heavily tattooed man attempted to pull me away, but Yi Ran clung to me like an octopus, screaming in a frenzy, "Let's see who dares to separate us." She bit down on the man's arm, blood trickling from the corner of her mouth, and when he slapped her, she laughed hysterically. The others faltered, muttering, "Forget it. Let's endure. Once the money comes in, we can sleep with 10 beautiful girls a day." I cried, astonished by Yi Ran's fierce protection. Her face was swollen on one side, her false eyelashes barely clinging on. She gasped, "Xiao Wennuan, without you, who will manage the company for me? Who will be my love strategist? I will protect what is mine." As evening fell, distant gunfire echoed, and Yi Ran looked on with hope. The sound of footsteps grew closer, and the door was smashed open by Zhao Kechuan. He announced, "President Liu has been shot." Yi Ran hurried over to find him, while I threw myself into Zhao Kechuan's embrace, exclaiming, "Brother, you look so handsome." He stifled a laugh and led me along the winding, rugged path. Lu Ming's heart was slightly misaligned but saved, and in this act of heroic rescue, Yi Ran fell even deeper. She cared for him day and night. One day, Yi Ran dragged me out for drinks. She unbuttoned 2 of my shirt buttons, saying, "This is how it's supposed to be spicy." "Oh, why is this button blue while the others are white?" I replied. "It fell off, and I replaced it with a blue one." She gulped down a large swig of her drink and sighed. "I can never seem to reach his heart. He has never taken my hand, and all the kisses have been initiated by me. He might just see me as a friend." I said, "There's nothing I can do." Suddenly, she splashed her drink onto me, her eyes turning strange and disappointed, clutching my shirt. "Of course, you can't do anything, you shameless harlot. Flirting with my man behind my back." I was utterly bewildered. "You know this button? I've seen it on his bedroom desk before. Isn't it a coincidence?" She was agitated, and I shook my head. "No, he was trying to force me." "Ha ha ha, with so many women around him. Force you? Don't insult him. I don't know why he turns into an animal the moment he sees me. I've always tried to avoid him. I don't like him and would never steal your man." "Yi Ran, I swear if I lie, may I die in an accident." She glared at me for several seconds, crazily telling me to leave. After that, Yi Ran disappeared for a while. When we met again, she had an alluring air about her. She confessed that she had disguised herself as me and slept with a half-drunk Lu Ming. He despised her, yet a man driven by desire has 2 separate thoughts. She smiled calmly. "It turns out that even the best things, once obtained, are just that." I asked, "Are you still marrying Lu Xiao?" Yi Ran replied, "Of course. Marrying someone I like is better than marrying someone I don't. By the way, he asked about your mother and plans to invite you over sometime. He heard from your mother that you were hit by a car that night and seemed quite regretful. Due to the company's bankruptcy, my mother had various overdue loans on her resume. Although she eventually paid them off, her record looked bad, so she used a false identity. And, by a twist of fate, could not find me. After Yi Ran finished discussing her romantic matters, I pushed the company's financial report toward her. Her eyes lit up as she perused it. Not bad.
Hee hee.
Another year passed, and I became a partner in the company. A global financial crisis erupted, severely impacting many businesses. The Liu and Yi families supported each other through the harsh winter. Yi Ran married Lu Ming. After marriage, he became a notorious playboy, indulging in increasingly reckless behavior. My mother quit her job to dance in the square, living a joyful life. 2 years later, the company went public, ranking among the top 10 globally. Yi Ran, her belly swollen with child, urged me to go on stage to speak, her eyes brimming with pride. As I stepped onto the stage, the audience murmured in astonishment. The CEO is so young, and such a beauty. She must have risen through her looks. Is she taken? I'd like to get to know her. What an impressive sister. I spoke about the company's development journey, recounting the setbacks and turning points with confidence and fluency, capturing the audience's attention as they took notes. This was my first formal meeting with Lu Ming. He lounged lazily in the audience, his head slightly tilted back, radiating an air of affluence bestowed by wealth and a sinister charm cultivated from years in the gray area, making him stand out among the crowd. He stroked his lips, his eyes gleaming with appreciation as he listened to my speech, leading the applause once I finished. Many handed me their business cards, and after some pleasantries, I slipped away to find my car. Lu Ming leaned casually against the front of my car, smoking, and said, "Miss Wen, would you care to join me for a meal?" "Not convenient," I replied. He raised an eyebrow. "Haven't we met somewhere before?" I got into my car and pressed the accelerator. He leapt down, a curious smile on his face. Then, the company's project came under attack. He dropped a line.
Have Wen come to see me.
I was no longer the fragile, helpless girl from a few years ago. Ordinary matters could not shake me. He was reckless, wagering his entire fortune. If I didn't go, it would lead to mutual destruction for the company. I dressed meticulously and arrived as promised. He and his friends were drinking in a private room when I entered, and a bottle rolled to my feet. Bending down to pick it up and toss it into the trash, I smiled politely. What did President Liu want to discuss with me? His close friends silently scrutinized me, and one man told the pink-haired girl beside Lu Ming, "Make room for Miss Wen." Since I walked in, Lu Ming had yet to look at me directly. He poured wine himself and pushed it toward me. "Drink this, and we will be friends." I picked up the glass, noticing fine sediment at the bottom. "President Liu, times have changed." The scene was set for the female lead to walk in, and if I fell into this trap, I would certainly cry. Inside, was it a drug? It was heavily dosed. Not only that, but the male lead knew that given the female lead's current status, even if he slept with her, he could not hold her accountable, and he added something that would create a lifelong addiction. Once she drank this, she would be doomed. She wouldn't he be so foolish?
Would she?
I couldn't help but scoff at her, coming alone, unaware of Lu Ming's unscrupulous nature. Of course, I wouldn't he drink it. I splashed the contents onto Lu Ming's face. The others gasped in shock. Lu Ming laughed, his eyes cold as he fixed his gaze on me. "You lot. Block the door." I smiled at him. It's too late. With that, I let go of the glass, and it shattered on the floor with a crisp sound. A team of police officers entered, and Lu Ming's initial surprise turned into indifference as he remarked, "Is this your backup plan? Do you believe I won't come to settle scores with you tomorrow?" Cuffed, a police officer's face turned beet red with anger. "The criminal code has fewer offenses than you. And you think you can get out?"
Dream on.
"You, my boy, have been caught by us." He sensed something was amiss. "What have I done?" "Just treating someone to a meal." Then he shouted to his only clean friend, "Remember to come bail me out." Zhao Kechuan hesitated. "Boss, the company is about to collapse under me. Where am I supposed to find money to bail you out?" Lu Ming froze, glancing between me and Zhao Kechuan, his eyes turning frighteningly red. Then, he laughed brokenly, somewhat awkwardly stating, "Wen, I may not be capable of loving someone, but I truly like you. Several years ago that night, it must have been you, for I've been unable to forget you ever since. The fragrance that enveloped you, your voice. Do you remember the boy caught in the rain whom you sheltered with an umbrella? That was I." His words were silenced by the police, who forcibly led him away. Yi Ran made a call, suppressing her elation. "Zhao Nuanyuan, the mission has been accomplished. Come quickly to the celebration banquet. I'll send you the address." Zhao will be there too. Upon hearing his name, Zhao Kechuan approached me, dressed in a gray suit and sporting gold-rimmed glasses. The air of a refined rogue about him seemed to intensify, likely influenced by those around him. It had been a long time since we last met, creating a sense of awkwardness that was both unfamiliar and yet reminiscent. We are off at once. The address was not far. We walked side by side. The gentle evening breeze reminiscent of our university days. Unsure of what to say, our hands inadvertently brushed against one another, prompting me to shift away slightly. Zhao Kechuan suddenly sighed. Zhao Nuanyuan, the boss has been taken into custody, and now I am without a job. What should I do? With your talents, our company would be eager to have you. I can refer you. Really? I would be most honored to be sought after by your company. But what about you?
Do you want me?
20, 23, 84. He cast me a look of confusion. It's my home password. He bit his lip, the corners of his mouth twitching with difficulty. Understood. Message received. As the chill of autumn set in, the Liu family finally crumbled, leaving no trace behind. Thanks to Zhao Kechuan's undercover work, evidence of Liu Ming's tax evasion, money laundering, shady dealings, and sexual bribery was gathered, alongside a network of illicit enterprises and various connections. My sister Yiran's assistance was invaluable as she disclosed Liu Ming's movements and monitored his phone. She had grown weary of Liu Ming. Her family required an heir. And we had synchronized our timing to ensure a transfer from father to son. I lamented the missed opportunity, with the male lead due to the barrage of comments. Yet, I welcomed a future that glittered with golden possibilities and unrestrained freedom. In conclusion, I express my gratitude to the diligent self who persevered through life. The end of the narrative. Thank you for listening, and until we meet again in the next story.